Your nose starts to bleed again a little bit.
It's like a high-profile case like this. If that doesn't bring the feds, nothing will.
I mean, high profile. One of them played video games for a living.
It's not stopping.
Okay, you know what? I seem to have a little... Do you happen to, I'll look around, see if there's any, like, tissue or anything around.
You feel a prick on your finger when you go to hold your nose.
Mac, just take care of this. That nose bleeds back again.
You pull your hand away to check what pricked your finger, and attached to your finger is about 6 or 7 spiders.
Jesus.
And they're biting. They're crawling out of your nose. You open your mouth, scream. The spiders just start. You're choking on spiders. You inhale spiders. You can feel them biting your lungs. This is a long and agonizing death. You kind of seize up a little bit. Your eye does one of these beady things, and then you wake up at the conference table.
Jesus. I'm gonna add to that while that was going on, I was flailing. My character also reached for his gun to end his life, but dropped it and fell to the ground, desperately grabbing for it before he died.
You hear a knock on the door. It's Eric.
Check my nose. Am I bleeding?
No blood.
I'm up.
You're taken to a room with a lady and a body. Looks very different from the woman that you had dreamed was going to be there.
You're shorter and blonder than I would have imagined.
She quickly introduces herself as Nancy Kerrigan. No relation.
I guess she's got to be doing something.
Mark said that you would be here. I'm assuming you want to follow up on the other case, Jerome Ellis, which seems to fit the pattern that this poor young man falls into. How can I help your investigation?
Well, it seems obvious that you haven't had the body for that long, so there's a lot to look into. So it'd probably best be focused on Jerome for the moment, because I'm going to guess there's a lot of similarities between the two.
Well, the only thing that didn't make any sense, aside from what physically tore the limbs from the body, was the aconite. It wasn't a lethal dose, which is strange by itself. Usually when you find aconite, it's very deadly. One thing I do notice, he has cedar needles on his clothes as well, like the other guy did. And she pulls out a needle that was kind of lodged in one of the seams.
That seems unlikely.
Very. Aside from the burn mark of the satanic symbol in his...
I think it might be Greek.
It's all Greek to me. Working theory is a serial killer. Well, I just reported a ritualistic killing on the first one, but now it looks like definitely a pattern here. I wish I had more to go on. The first body didn't have any DNA evidence on it, no fingerprints. Really very little forensic evidence of any kind, which is unusual for a death this bloody. Usually there'd be fingerprints, partial prints smudged in the blood on the victim just from handling it. I didn't even see evidence of glove smudges on the victim, which even if the person was wearing gloves, you would still see some sort of pressure or some sort of contact being pressed against the system.
Yeah, I was going to say there's no bruising, no idea where the head was grabbed.
It looks like it was grabbed under the mandible. There is some mild discoloration, but it's not in proportion to what you would expect from something like this. It's really quite puzzling as to how the skin was torn or cut, because all of the vessels and the bones and the tendons, they all have a similar tear pattern. So I don't know. I can't tell if it was cut. Even a wild animal, how would it do something like this? It makes no sense.
Well, hopefully we can make some sense out of this. That is our job. Do you mind if we inspect the body a little bit closer? Yeah, I offer a card. If anything shows up in the second body that's consistent or inconsistent, give us a call and let us know. That'd be great.
She takes your card. You say you look over the bodies. Is it more for appearances, or are you looking for something specific?
Well, I always do it for appearances. Well, we do that, and I guess we clear out.
Okay, 5 a.m. the next day.
I think I'll go to the precinct first.
The precinct. Yeah. Okay.
Two things. I look over to my more tech-savvy friend and say, hey, can you gaggle up... See, like a cross-reference between cedar and that poison, and also cedar and Greeks?
There are definitely links to cedar needles with Greek mythology.
I'll also tell you about the video.
Oh, that would be nice to know about. As we're heading to the precinct, I call up one of my contacts.
I'm assuming you also send him a picture of or you have Eric send him a picture of the symbol?
Yep.
All right, gets me something to check the books on. Call me if you find anything else in the meantime.
Will do, thank you.
He takes your picture. You tell him it's Greek, or you think it's Greek, and you say, well, that narrows it down. At least I know where to start. I've still got about 300 or 400 books to look through. Let me get back to you.
Okay. Then I guess we get to the precinct.
Gerald, you look like shit. You might want to clean yourself up a little bit.
Yeah, I do.
Wipe that coffee off.
Switch out the shirt.
Yeah, you clean up nice. Like, it's not like you're debilitated. You just feel like you didn't get a good night's sleep. A little hungover. So there is a cop at a desk who looks like he's kind of there to direct traffic. We'll roll some con game here. Gerald, you're about to shit the bed when Eric jumps in and hits the minimum difficulty to not make you both look like assholes.
Okay.
Yeah, you start to talk, and then Eric just kind of pushes you back. And Eric, take the show this time.
I'm Special Agent Mac and Special Agent Reynolds. We were sent down here to consult on the investigation into the strange death of us.
Which isn't that just an internet handle?
Yeah, we were sent down because it also correlates to the another similar death of Jerome, whatever his last name was. I don't remember at the moment.
I had known this information had made it out of Orange County.
News travels fast. We were actually alerted some hours ago.
I can put you in touch with Officer Peterson. He's been working through the night. He's on the 3rd floor. I'll let him know you're coming.
Thank you.
Raising.
He gives you directions to an elevator. You make your way to the 3rd floor. A little bit of ways, you find the office of Officer Peterson. He's sitting at his desk going through a file.
We approach.
Okay, door's open, and Officer Peterson looks up. He looks like shit. He looks worse than Gerald.
Wow.
You guys? Alright. I'm sorry. Do you need some coffee?
Sure.
Alright. He pushes a button on the phone. Helen, can you get us some coffees, please? What do I look like? Your secretary? Yes, you are my secretary. I know.
Wow.
Just giving him a hard time. He's obviously not in the mood.
No respect at all.
Alright, coffee will be here.
In my mind, look like Rodney Dangerfield.
Yep.
No respect.
No.
FBI's here. I guess it's that time again. Do you want me to just do you want me to stop working on this altogether and give you the case file?
Yeah, we're not. No, step on the flowers. Yeah, we'd be more than happy to work together. As you can tell by my partner's countenance here, we've been through quite a bit ourselves lately, so any extra assistance, I'm sure you can agree, will much appreciate it.
Well, we don't have much to go on. Looks like some sort of ritualistic killing. Second one this week. Matches the other one. Some kid by the name of, and he flips through his file. Jerome. So you've heard of him.
Yeah.
Jerome Hellis, and he pulls out another case file and flips it across the desk, like frisbee sliding the files across the desk. Second one this week. The head and the hands were removed, and someone burned this strange thing right on their foreheads. I've never seen anything like it. He gives you the crime scene photos, which are very consistent with what you've seen at the ME's office. The original file for Jerome has information that is consistent with what the ME provided you. It mentions the aconite, it mentions the cedar fibers, but it gets a little bit more detailed on the life of Jerome Hellis. He was a high school student, senior year, very promising basketball career. He'd been scouted by several talent agents for multiple colleges. He was looking at a full ride. This guy was really good. He was point guard for the California Eagles, which is a high school basketball team. They took the state championship.
Right.
Yeah, that's what you get.
Okay. I'm sure they already did all the casing and all the questioning of everyone, so I'm just going to ask him directly. Were there any strange individuals that came into his life recently, or anything having his head and hands ripped off happening to him leading up to the incident?
The amount of blood on the scene isn't consistent with the wounds. Like, there's a lot of blood, but it looks like there should be more.
He was moved.
I was going to go with weightlifting vampires.
So that's some new information that you're able to get based off of that. One thing that you are not able to rule out based on this is sulfur or EMF. You still don't know if this was demons. You don't know if it was ghosts. Both of them would be long-lived enough to and strong enough actually to do something like this in certain cases. But absent the actual crime scene, you're just gonna have to go. You could ask. Actually, let me make a hunting roll here, since I just kind of gave that shit away. Gerald, you roll a natural 1. Wow.
Gerald has fallen asleep in the chair.
Not for long. You sit down, the coffee's here. Actually, she brings you hot chocolate instead of coffee by accident. So instead of waking you up, it kind of soothes you to sleep.
Great.
Eric, you see Gerald. He's just he's had a long night. Poor bastard's all tuckered out.
The last thing you need is for him to have a dream and then scream like a bitch and start shooting. So I wake him up
immediately.
Yeah.
That's a good call.
Okay, yeah, you were jostled awake by Eric.
And I take the cocoa out of his hands and set it on the desk.
Do you go so far as to give him your coffee?
Yeah, if I actually got coffee.
You got coffee, just one hot chocolate, like...
Just randomly.
It was a mistake, honest mistake.
Yeah.
Maybe she made it for herself. Didn't want to go back in and steal your hot cocoa after you already put your mouth on it.
Would explain the world's worst secretary mug.
I want a cutaway scene where she goes to drink her cocoa and black coffee.
Okay, so Nancy's sitting at her desk, answering a phone call and typing on her computer screen. Yes, please hold. She sets down her headset for a moment. There's one of these nice, relaxed breathe outs, big smile on her face, puts a couple marshmallows into the top from a bag that she had at her desk, and puts it up to her mouth and takes a drink. Instant disappointment. And she looks at the office and she looks at the cup, just I hate coffee. And she sets down the coffee, covers it up, puts it in the trash can full of coffee, doesn't dump it out, just sets it in the trash can, and clicks the hang up button on the phone to disconnect the caller, and she goes up and makes herself another hot chocolate. Cut away over.
That's amazing. Didn't help at all. Nancy.
Eric, you're on your game enough to think to ask the officer who was on the scene. So did you notice anything strange? We're just kind of going through all the checking off all the boxes here. If some of these questions sound a little strange, did you notice any cold spots? Do you feel like a chill? Do you smell anything weird, like rotten eggs or anything like that? And the officer is able to answer no to all of your questions. So you don't think it was ghosts. Doesn't sound like demons. He kind of gives you the weird look that says you've asked one too many strange questions and another one would kind of put you on the radar. So you expertly steer the conversation back to the mundane.
Have you rolled out ghosts?
Are we looking in the ghost here? Have we brought any ghost suspects in?
The only thing that's left that checks all the boxes is some kind of minor god or very powerful being.
I've upgraded my theory from Greek Yeti to Yeti dressed up as a wood nymph.
That fits with the amount of sleep you've been getting.
Yep. Weightlifting vampire henchman.
That's Officer Peterson's working theory.
Well, we're on the same page.
Moving on.
All right. I mean, I guess if we're done here, we can head over to the esports arena.
Because if there's anything we have that could tie these two together, not that Gerald Conway considers esports sports at all, much like chess. If this is a serial killer, then we need to be on the lookout for other competitive activities which might draw this person's attention.
Yeah, but whatever it is dipped into the high school. So it could be almost anyone with, sufficient enough talent. So, if we're looking into sporting events, like...
Wait a minute. Did you say something about darts in that video?
Yeah.
Got your ass kicked at darts? Competition.
Yeah, what about it?
See if that basketball player recently suffered a loss.
Eric, you're able to pull up the information on the team's local record. They were red hot. In fact, these guys didn't lose a game until he died. Like, he was the star point guard. He was pulling down triple doubles like it was nothing. And Haas was on a winning streak too. Actually, he made it to the round of 8. So you got your share of players inside. We're taking things seriously. Crime scene's gone. It's been cleaned up. Traffic has been opened again to the public. It's pretty much a crowd of people.
What are we doing here? I asked that to Eric in character.
Okay.
Most of the crowd that was here yesterday would like to still be here. Let's see. I'm sure they had witness statements taken from them and their names collected once police actually started doing their canvassing. Mm-hmm. So, are any of those people in attendance today?
There's one person that you think is a participant in the local tournament. Like, you can find his name on one of the registers. If he's playing today, You might have to check inside.
Mm-hmm.
The witness statements that you read from the original report are consistent with, we found a body and we didn't know what to do, so we called the cops. The one person that you are trying to track down is currently playing
Overwatch.
Perfect. You track him down. He's in one of the side rooms with a couple of network computers. He's got his headset on, and he plays for about 15 minutes, and then takes his headset off. Looks like it's break time.
What was the name again?
His name is Travis.
Travis. Excuse me, Travis. Do you have a moment?
Sure.
I'm Special Agent Mac, and this is Special Agent Reynolds. We just had a few follow-up questions about the incident yesterday. If you have a moment.
Yeah, I guess. I told the cops yesterday that there wasn't a lot to go on, but whatever you want, I'll tell you what I told them. I was coming back from a hot dog cart about a block that way. I hadn't eaten very much, and I turned the corner and I see this heap on the ground, and I thought it was, I don't know, that was a bum or something, or some kind of joke, or street performer, or this foreign guy, all cut up. Blood was everywhere. He starts doing that like PTSD, just had a flashback from Nam sort of thing, where he's answering your questions and he's responsive, but you can tell he's starting to drift.
And
What's up, kid?
you had gone for the hot dog. Has you walked the similar path?
What? The hot dog? Yeah. That was...
Yeah.
that
So
was
you
good.
had walked past the area before on your way to the
Yeah.
hot dog.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I walked that way, and didn't see anything on the way out. I was gone maybe, I don't know, 10 minutes, if that.
I asked him the standard supernatural question.
Okay.
He was there earlier.
Now that you mention it, I thought I saw this weird cosplay guy.
Okay.
He had this weird tattoo on his face, and he was kind of big. It's not like he didn't belong, but I thought I saw him hanging around where Haas was.
And can you describe the tattoo?
And he kind of describes a tattoo. It sounds like someone who's not good at describing something, trying to describe something. Like it was on his face, so half his face.
Mm-hmm.
That helps you.
Where did you see him exactly?
He was in the arena. I don't know if it was anything. Like it just stood out. Like I was thinking, like, you know, the Comic-Con's next week sort of thing, dude.
Mm-hmm.
But he wasn't dressed up. It's just his tattoo made him look like, I don't know, like really badass sort of thing. Like you don't see a lot of gamers with face tattoos, I guess is what I'm saying.
All right. That's all the questions. That's all the questions.
Later on, you get a text message from the medical examiner
Okay.
that, much like the other victim, because she was specifically looking for it, it was easier to find. She did find traces of aconite. Other than that, there were no inconsistencies or consistencies that really stood out. Like these pretty much seem like the same MO.
What is the source of aconite?
It's a plant.
Okay.
It's a deadly plant that they used to take to make poisons. Your lore in hunting, in character, you would know what aconite is.
Right.
Out of character, that's what it is.
Yeah, I knew it was like a poison. I was just trying to figure out like if it was a nut or a berry or leaves or.
I'm pretty sure it's an herb or the.
I'm guessing it's
flower.
not relevant, or you would know.
It's spinach.
Yeah, it's spinach.
Okay.
Directly spinach.
Mm-hmm.
Spinach is aconite.
I just kind of stare at this kid, making him uncomfortable,
He starts sweating.
and I just turn away from him.
Okay.
Are there any cedars native to this area? I look at Eric.
Eric?
I don't know. What's my horticulture score? Wait, what do I got on that? What does that fall?
This is such a densely populated area. That's like asking how many open fields are there in India.
I want to try to get the video footage of where the kid said he saw the dude. See if I can.
You were able to pull up the footage of the gaming festival a lot easier than you were able to hack into the security feeds, and you can track Haas pretty easily, and then you get that strange feedback again that you saw on the street cam, except this time it lasts for a couple minutes. You can make out blobs and blurbs. So there was some sort of interaction before it happened.
So this thing either feeds on blood, or it's very good at cleaning up after itself. Because there was no mess found anywhere else, and there wasn't enough mess on the scene. Most ghosts don't come with a cleaning squad.
Well, it's likely not one of those.
It's adding credence to my super strong vampire henchman theory.
Well, that's clearly nonsense. But it's I have a suspicious feeling about this tattooed faced individual. For Jerome, let's see if there was any mention of a dude with a face tattoo.
Your best bet for something like that might be his basketball team.
Well, they got bounced from the tournament, so they're not doing anything at the moment. So
He went to Martin Luther King High School, the first point guard in a long time to lead his ragtag basketball group to any kind of glory. He was able to bring them together through supreme leadership, crawl their way up to tournament status. After you ask a few guys and you get the I don't know shit, I didn't see shit, you get a lot of we ain't talking to you because you're the feds. After a while, Gerald, you kind of get the idea that maybe you're not wanted around here.
Snitches get stitches, but so do not snitches.
You're not helping. Eric, you kind of know this a little bit better. You tell Gerald to sleep it off in the car, switch into some casual clothes, and go about this a different way. You are able to get access to some of the people who were at the party and find out that, yeah, dude was there. He was doing shots.
Really?
And oh yeah, he was having a good time. He was partying hard. And he had some interactions with Jerome. But he was there just kind of doing his thing. It was kind of like Jerome's like the big basketball star. He was having interactions with everybody. So he didn't stand out as someone who was monopolizing his time. But yeah, dude with weird face tattoos fit in a lot better at this party than he did at the gaming convention. People didn't question it. If you just said, did you see anything weird? They'd have said no. But did you see a dude who was kind of big with face tattoos? Yeah, he stood out. 6'2", 6'3", not that tall compared to like a championship basketball team, but he was a big guy by normal standards. He was stocky. You could tell the dude was in really good shape. Wasn't afraid to have a good time. Had quite a number of shots. He wasn't shy about enjoying the attention.
So once you just check their Twitter and Facebook timelines on the day of the party to see if there was any weird static or anything like that they happened to post.
You see a lot of the whole standard things you shouldn't be posting because you might want to have a real job someday on there. And nothing really stands out until you get inside one of the Instagram accounts where there was just a photo dump from the evening. You see a couple photos that are just scrambled. Whatever did this was at that party. Gerald, you're sitting in the car, kind of just waiting. You feel the car get jacked up on one side. Yeah, if you didn't know better, you'd think someone was changing a tire. But it's not like one of those little crank jacks. It's one of the big ones that they use at the shops that can do it really fast.
Who the hell's trying to jack my tires?
You look out the window and you see a couple kids running by, jacking the car up, and one of them's got like one of these pneumatic things, and you start getting vroom, vroom, vroom.
Draw my gun.
They are moving fast. Okay, you draw your gun, but they don't see you yet. They're super focused. This is like a Gone in 60 Seconds tire theft here.
Okay, which side am I on? Are they lifting from the opposite side?
They're lifting the driver. They didn't see you because you were reclined in the passenger seat.
Okay.
I'm assuming because it goes back further. They're on the driver's side, so the car is actually tilting higher up. So it's becoming increasingly more difficult to see
I
them.
tink, tink, tink. I roll down the window.
You start cranking down the window. Let me make a roll for that. Holy shit, another natural one. The handle for the window breaks off.
Jesus.
I open the door.
Okay, you open the door.
Hopefully into someone, because I do it really hard.
They're on the other side. You open the door, and then one of them does look up. Oh shit! They start rolling the tire to try and get away.
Freeze! FBI!
And they stop. Your tire keeps rolling. Downhill.
How many kids are there?
Just two.
Okay. Hands behind your head.
They do it.
I walk up behind one, and I grab the one hand, and I put it around behind his back.
Okay.
I hit it with handcuffs. Then I grab the other kid, grab one of his hands, and put them in the other cuff.
Okay.
So they're cuffed together.
They are.
I look at them. Go get that.
And they start running down the street, chasing your tire, trying to do like the whole three-legged race sort of thing, but with hands and handcuffs. So you're watching them figure out how to run when they're attached. It takes them a good minute to catch up to the tire. It rolls. It hits. There's a cross section where it hits like a T-junction. So it hits a guardrail and then they catch it and they start trying to roll it back up the hill together. They're bringing it back 200 feet away from the car, and then you're hit by a bus. And you wake up.
Okay. Yep. I, of course, like any person, even though he's had these repeated nightmares, I still get out of the car and inspect my tires.
The tires are fine.
Wherever they are, because they aren't on the car.
You do see a bus drive by.
I'm not going back to sleep after that. It was a bus full of spiders.
Driven by a giant spider with a hat.
That sucked.
Contrary to your racist stereotypical expectations, your car is fine. Nobody tries to steal your tires or graffiti you in the 15 minutes you park while Eric does his investigation.
To be fair, if you're going to steal tires off any car on the street, they would be Gerald, because he buys high-end tires because he drives cross-country.
Making this a believable nightmare.
And he doesn't pay out of pocket for them. Somebody else does via credit card fraud.
Right.
So of course he buys nice tires. So I don't think it's entirely racist to assume that someone would steal my tires. I have the nicest tires.
You do have the nicest tires and awesome rims too.
Well, now that I'm awake, I just loiter around and wait for Eric to come out. I check my tire pressure.
Tire pressure's a little bit low on one of them, but not lower than the last time you checked. Still good. It still bothers you that it takes 3/4 to put air in your car now. That, more than anything, is the reason you don't have the extra 5 PSI in your back rear tire.
I'm not sure if it pisses me off. It pisses me off more that it costs 3/4 or that I'm left over with a quarter and you can't even buy a sweet for that price anymore.
Sweet.
Yep.
It's sweet.
It's the singular of sweets.
We follow you.
Because it sets a taste. Is that what it used to be?
So while Eric is away, Gerald, your phone rings. It's Ronnie.
Yellow.
Ronnie.
What the hell have you two idiots gotten yourselves into? That symbol you found is the Mark of the Vanquished. It's tied to a Greek god by the name of Zelos. Those who have it on them are said to be sacrifices to him. Not surprised you couldn't find it on anything right away. That mark goes way back. It was hard for me to find, and I'm guessing on half of the stuff I've told you so far.
And lost. He did lose. He just didn't lose a basketball game. He probably lost a drinking contest.
Whatever you do, don't challenge him to anything or say yes to any contests. You'll lose. If the lore's right, he's as good as they come. I'll keep digging around to see if I can't find a way to take him out. Let me know if anything else turns up.
Well, I think that's going to be really helpful, Ronnie. Thank you. I owe you one. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Way of killing Greek gods? I need a horn or a antler or something.
I called you as soon as I had this. So let me get back to you.
Okay.
Well, Eric's doing his thing. You start going through your journals. You find a tracking spell for minor deities that you think would work, but you need access to one of the bodies and specifically the mark on the bodies. Eric gets back to the car.
I let him know what I found out. Zealous.
This is an actual Greek god, the god of competition, also associated with ambition and envy.
And I tell him what I learned as well, that it is likely that it is the dude with the tattoo. You know, we're approached by a man with a fucking face tattoo.
One of the kids actually draws you the tattoo.
So we can try a locating ritual if we want to try to get our hands on the body with nobody looking.
First things first.
That would be the first thing. Figure out how to kill the thing. Although, I mean, it's a god. Like, doesn't it belong to be here?